Hello everybody and welcome back to Hypixel Skyblock. So today I'm going to be going over some money making methods that take basically no preparation. So one of the problems with a lot of money making methods is that they require you to have a lot of expensive stuff like large scale farms, fancy maxed minion setups, and more. In today's video we are completely early game focused and we're going to be focusing on what ways you can make money really easily without spending too many coins or effort. And to show my dedication, I've switched into minor armor, a common armor used in the early game. As well as I'm holding a rogue sword of the Ignore the Hyperion, and this is what we're going to be using for the rest of the guide. So the first method is going to be over here, and it is farming wheat in the hub. Farming wheat in the hub is surprisingly effective, considering that it's honestly one of the first things you do in Skyblock. It makes you a decent amount of money, and it's actually not that bad. And it has basically no barrier to entry, you just need to be in the hub. Another one is carrot farming. This is slightly more profitable, but they do take a lot longer to regenerate, so I don't recommend it nearly as much, because the time that you spend running over there is probably not worth it, especially considering you probably don't have an aspect of the end or a Hyperion yet to teleport around quickly. Before we get into it, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to 3,000 subscribers as it is in my name, so please hit the subscription button so you can help me out with that goal. So let's get back to the video. So the next money making method involves going to the farming islands. Once you unlock them, you can farm here a little bit once you unlock it, but the real money making method for these farming islands is not over here, but it is in fact over here. And this is the mushroom area. Farming these mushrooms is actually very profitable once you've just started. All you need is a decent axe and you will be able to mine these incredibly quickly, but you can use a gold axe with efficiency 5, or in this case I'm using a tree captator, and you can insta break these as long as you've got efficiency 5, and it's very nice, and it can make you a decent amount of money. You see, I just did it for like 30 seconds, and I've already gotten a decent amount of mushrooms, so you can make a decent amount of money this way. And another benefit is leveling up your mushroom collection, which is important for the magical mushroom soup, which will be very helpful when you actually want to use it. The next step is to get your minions set up as fast as you can. I recommend going with lapis minions because they're pretty cheap to set up, and they won't cost you that much, and you can just have them farm normally, and as long as you're willing to empty them pretty quickly, then you can save up for compactors, which are very cheap on the Bazaar, and eventually get super compactors, and these will actually make you a surprising amount of money for how much they cost to set up and maintain. And this will also give you mining XP, which will be very useful, as well as the coins that you need to progress further in the game. And that ties into our next strategy, which you will also need foraging 7 for, and that is using the Bazaar. Now, as an early game player right now, you will need the Happy Mask. It only costs 100 coins, but you will be able to get in the Bazaar with it. Thankfully, hopefully that will go away soon, because Dante should disappear, hopefully, and you won't have to pass by these goons anymore. But for now, you do, so go over here, and once you've got the Bazaar unlocked, you're going to want to use it to its fullest extent. So we're going to be using a website called bazaartracker.com. So you're going to go onto Bazaar Tracker and scroll all the way down to top resell. This is the highest profit by buying from NPCs and selling to the Bazaar. This includes things like packed ice, flint, and rabbit foot. So you're going to want to look at these and then go to the Bazaar and resell them. And an example of this is you can go over to the builder, and you can go to the classic builder and buy a bunch of packed ice, as much as you can, and then you go back over to the Bazaar, and you can then resell this. So we sell the packed ice, we've then made a decent amount of money, considering we just sold 512 for 10,000 coins when we bought it for a lot less. So that is a nice little money making method as well, and once again, you can do it with an absolute ton of other things. Like, it's not just limited to that. There are tons of different things. Some of them make profit, some of them do not. Always watch on this website to see which ones are profitable at the time and which ones you'll be able to make money with. Next up is getting Scavenger on your weapon, whether it's a Hyperion or, at this point, probably an Aspect of the End or a Raider's Axe, something like that. I would recommend an Aspect of the End because it also helps you teleport. Put Scavenger on that, go to the Adventure, and then get the Scavenger Talisman for 11 million coins, and then go kill the best mob that you can kill, try to unlock the End Island, and then try to kill Enderman. And once you've farmed up enough Enderman to be able to get Ender Armor, that's when we move on to the next step. using your Raider's Axe or Aspect of the End and your Ender Armor, you're going to want to go over to the end and kill Zealots. If you can't deal enough damage to them at the time, I highly recommend getting a God Potion. They are really good and not that expensive. You'll see this one. If we go to the buy it now, you'll see the cheapest one right now is 400,000 coins, or if you do have some bits, you can do it that way. And I highly recommend doing this, as even though it's no longer the best money-making method, it is still decently profitable. And just going through and smacking Zealots can make you a decent amount of money. You have to go down to the Dragon's Den when you're ready to actually farm for Summoning Eyes, and not just use the Scavenger enchantment. For example, kill these guys, and you'll actually make a decent amount of money. And preferably, you should be running around at max speed if you can, but you probably won't be able to at the time. But the God Potion will get you quite close, so that is something. And try to stay away from people trying to steal your drops, for example, like that. It is difficult, but there are always going to be a lot of people here, especially since it is a decent money-making method. So, I mean, what can you do? But it is still quite profitable, so I still highly recommend it if you're in like that early mid-game section that just needs to make some money, can't really do dungeons or any of the more profitable things, and don't really want to farm and still want to get their combat level up like this. I highly recommend then reinvesting the money you've made into farms. They are incredibly profitable, and you can make tons of money just going along and hitting crops, especially stuff like a carrot farm or a netherwort farm can be very profitable. Or if you're going for farming XP, then you can use something like a pumpkin farm, or for money, I would really just recommend sugarcane, carrot, and netherwort. But honestly, probably carrot and sugarcane as an early game player, because although netherwort does give a lot of coins, it does not give any farming XP, and you will need that to help level up your double crop drop chance and your farming fortune. So I highly recommend going with something like carrot or sugarcane for now. You can also then reinvest that money into auction flipping. I've got a whole guide on my channel for auction flipping and how to do it as an early game player as well as a late game player. You can still make a ton of coins on it, and you can do stuff like doubling your money pretty easily, especially if you then made some from Summoning Eyes. There are a lot of things where you can buy low from the auction and then sell high on the buy it now section. So that is another thing you can do. And you can also, of course, do Bazaar flipping, which is also incredibly profitable. So, whatever you enjoy doing the most. Or, if you really want to start investing money, you can go to dungeons and spend those coins on getting some dungeons gear, which honestly is the most fun of all of these methods. And you can get some incredible gear, and then start working on leveling up your dungeon skill, as well as gaining money through some of the earlier floor drops that are actually still profitable, which is honestly, once you get to a high enough level, the most profitable money-making method out there, but it does take a lot of initial investment. So if you're willing to spend the coins into dungeons, then I would highly recommend doing it, because it is very fun in my opinion, and it can make you a lot of money if you get lucky. If you want to do dungeons, go for it. If you want to just farm all day, go for it. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.